And I'm hearing perfectly fine now.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Even though I'm just being a little bit extra because we have spoken
Yes,
already, but
we
this
just haven't
is our
done this kind of
first.
talking since the New Year.
Hold on a sec. Let me turn up my audio a little bit. Hold on, because you're sounding a little low, but let me see if it's my audio that's the problem. Hold on. All right, so let me just pin this comment very quickly. All right, so you hear me, Mara, right?
Yes, I'm hearing you. Hearing me
Okay,
clearly?
great. Yes, and I'm hearing you much better now.
Okay, that's good.
All right, so yes, so welcome everybody to another episode of the hair therapy chat room. We are chat foolishness tonight because I am super excited to have my dear friend Mara Ophelia on the live with me this evening. It should have happened a few weeks ago, but you know, the hustle and bustle of life, we didn't get it done. And you know, I think everything happens for a reason. And you know, and I wasn't even feeling like myself too. So, you know, everything worked out for the best. So here we are on the live, and welcome to everyone who is joining. I hope to see more people joining. So if you can share this live with your friends, because as usual, we're going to be talking about hair care. We're going to drop in a little bit, you know, of a little bit of motivational thing if we get the time to do that, which is what we like to do. So yeah, so we're just going to get it started. Let me see who else is here. Mara, you think we can start now?
I think we can.
Okay, so for those who don't know who you are, can you introduce yourself for us, for all those who are new?
Okay, so I am Mara Ophelia. I am a naturalista who has a YouTube channel that focuses on hair, travel, and of recent times, a little bit of real estate because I realize, you know, just like myself, there are persons who are searching for that opportunity. So I really focus on natural hairstyles, caring for your natural hair. And these are also things that can apply to all hair type, especially also persons who have processed hair. So that's
Mm-hmm.
what I do in my spare time, creating content to share with persons.
Okay, great. And one of the things I love about your channel is the diversity because it not, I mean, I am into hair care, but you know, you do this whole travel thing and the real estate thing because a lot of us who are at this age, we're actually aspiring, a lot of us are aspiring to be homeowners. So I find that the information that you put out on your channel is very informative and it's very much relatable to me because I don't know if I'm slowly becoming my mother or if it's just the maturity
We're
coming out in me.
this stage of life,
But
we're interested in home ownership,
yes,
home decor, and all those
yes,
lovely stuff.
yes. I think we are slowly transforming into our mothers, and it's crazy because I find myself now gravitating towards more YouTube channels that are geared towards real estate, investments, home decor. I find it so therapeutic to walk into a store, and the first place I go to, I don't even look at hair products anymore.
Yes. Where can I
I
put
am
this
now
content?
into, yes, but that's not what we're here to talk about. That is not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about how we can grow our hair with braids. But Mara, I want you to tell me a little bit about your journey with braids. Like, can you remember the first time you got braids?
No. The first time I got braids would have been somewhere after high school, probably when I started university in 2008. So for me
Mm-hmm.
at that point, it was a way of giving, I had processed hair, so that was my way of giving my hair a break every now and then when I wanted to stretch my processing time. So
Yeah.
I do that to stretch my relaxer. As I transitioned into back to natural hair, it was a means by which I used the transition to reduce breakage. And as a naturalista now, it's really a means of taking a break when I need to have some
Mhm.
protective style going on. So I would think it's been a while since I've been using braids as a protective style.
You know, I have a confession to make. I have been relaxed for, say, almost 20 years. I've been relaxed. And I installed braids for the first time last year. And I loved it. I loved it. The reason why I held off so long was because I kept hearing so many bad things about braids. You know, it's going to damage your hair is going to fall off. And I kept putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. And then when I, kept seeing your nice braids and your crochet styles, and I'm like, I want to try that too. And you know me, I do long relaxer stretches.
Yeah, and it's perfect for
So
that.
And it was getting to the point where I was getting really tired of having to deal with the two textures. And I had a setback last year with my hair. For those who don't know, I had a major setback. I had breakage, severe breakage from moisture overload. And yes, that is a thing. When you over moisturize your hair to the point where it starts to stretch until it breaks.
Yes.
And for me, I didn't even panic. I realized what it was and where it was coming from because I didn't switch back to my usual protein-based regimen. And I was just misting my hair, misting my hair. And then I went to Portland where it rains a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was using a lot of aloe vera juice in my hair. And, for those who don't know, aloe vera is like a humectant. So it draws moisture into your hair.
Yes,
So
it
you
does.
can imagine when it's raining now in Portland, and my hair is already super moisturized with the aloe vera juice. And then now it's bringing in more moisture from the atmosphere. Me with my idiot self go comb out the hair before it dry. I don't know what possessed me to do that. But my hair, when I realized that weekend my hair was breaking off, I didn't want to cry, but I never cry. I just put it in a one bun and just suck it in because, it's Portland. You're there to enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
So me not make no hair bring me down. And I
This
decided,
so
I need to give my hair a break. And I just I said to my sister, I need somebody. I'm going to try this thing. I've been seeing a lot about knotless braids, and I think it's less stress on my hair.
this is.
And I asked my sister who she could recommend. So she recommended this hairdresser in Maypen, this hair braider, very good girl. And my sister said, me no love nobody will do my hair tight. And the person me I send you to, she go do your hair good. And I made up my mind. I was going to do this thing. And I installed the braids for the first time in June, I think, yeah, because that breakage happened in May. And I did a heavy protein treatment like the Thursday and deep condition, and then I installed the braids the Saturday. And I kept it in for 5 weeks. And those 5 weeks that I had the braids in my hair were probably the most glorious 5 weeks of my life because nobody couldn't tell me, say me I'm a hot girl. Nobody couldn't talk to me from a flash ear. Yes, my love, me a flash here because nobody couldn't tell me say me never act because let me tell you, the Tisona that you see with the straight hair
It's
is a
not for the braids.
let me tell you that Tisona was not the same with the braids. When me tell you when me a walk on road, no man, baby, you look nice, and me tell you say me feel good in a girl because the braids. I know it was just this. I think I became a new woman when I had those braids installed. And one of the things I loved about it was that I never had to deal with the two textures, and I stretched my hair for about 19 weeks, 19 or 20 weeks. And I think that was the first time I had stretched my hair so long. And when I relaxed my hair, I was, I was so scared because I thought I was going to lose a lot of hair because of all the horror stories that I heard about braids and relaxed hair. And when I took down the braids, I had a lot of shedding. And what I had to do, I had to divide up the hair into what I normally lose, what I think I normally lose per week, to say, all right, this is not so bad. It's like normal shedding from
that's how you have to look at it, because if you look at everything, you're going to think that the braid is actually breaking, but you can test on a daily basis.
Yes, and that's something that we want to talk about a little bit later. So I was just giving, for those who are just joining, you kind of missed my story, my first time diving into braids. And now I'm looking to, getting it installed again for the summer because, what them say, hot girl summer. So I need to switch it up a little bit. Yes, I am hooked. I am hooked. I don't know, what has your experience been like with braids? Have you what was it like for the first time, or, what is your experience with the braids?
Well, for me, I liked the difference. And, if you notice, like previously, I don't normally, when I had processed hair, I wouldn't normally bleach it or put any coloring in there. I think I tried that probably like twice and it damaged my hair. So when I get braids, I normally put colors that I like, and so as you say, it's a whole new person because girls have color in their hair and all these things, right? So
yes,
for me, it's an opportunity for a different look while giving myself a break from my natural hair or then my processed hair. And as you rightfully said before, it doesn't necessarily have to be braids like knotless or box braids. It can also be crochet, which is another type of protective, which can be considered braiding, that gives your hair the break as well, and that allows you to try different styles, different looks, and that's something I enjoy doing with braids.
Yeah, and you do your own braids, right?
Of recent times, yes. For the last 2 years, I think I've only had my hair professionally braided once.
What propelled you to start doing it on your own?
The cost of braiding. All right, so one, I was working from home. I wanted a break from my hair. Based on the frequency that I believe in my house, I didn't see it as necessary to be paying those big bucks to get my hair braided to stay home. So I said, why not give it a try? And I was on YouTube, so I said, okay, why not share my struggles trying to braid my hair, to show other persons you can try, you can do it, eventually it gets better. So that's how I tried. I tried knotless with the rubber band method, but then I realized that the rubber band isn't really the best option for your hair. Gradually I learned how to grab the roots and such, and as I go along I realized I'm saving bucks. All I need to pay for is the hair, buying the hair, and doing this one actually took me 2 evenings. So I'm cutting down on the time I'm taking to braid my hair. So
okay, persistent practice promotes perfect performance. I don't know if any Glenmere people on this live, Mr. Stewart, used to say that when we couldn't pass the maths test them. Yes. So yeah, that is something that I think I'm going to set that as a personal goal for myself to learn, because the struggles when it comes to styling my hair. This is my signature style for those who don't know, because I can't style my hair to save my life. I'm not going to come up here and lie and tell people that I'm a hairstylist. I just know how to take care of my hair and do the bare minimum. When it comes to doing those wonderful styles like Mara, she's the expert, not me. So if you want tips on styling, she's the best person to ask. But one of the things is, for tonight's live, we're going to be talking about growing your hair. And when we say grow, we're not literally talking about growth from your scalp, because one of the things we want to establish is that unless you have a medical condition, your hair that prevents your hair from growing, If you don't have a medical condition, then your hair is always growing from your scalp. But what the braids are going to help you with is length retention. And
Yes.
if you were here earlier, and you heard me when I said, the takedown process, I think what gives braids the bad reputation
It's how to
is
remove it.
the takedown process and the installation process, the technique.
Yep.
The technique process, yes. I think those two are very important when it comes to how well your hair is going to respond and how well your hair is going to do when you install and when you take down the braids. I don't know, Mara, have you ever had any bad experience like in your earlier days with braids? Or you just
Taking
knew from the
down.
start?
I would say yes. I remember once I got some box braids and they literally, my hairline was too tight.
Oh, wow.
And so in removing the braids, then I lost my hairline.
Mm,
I didn't go back to that hairdresser. I understand the look that she was going for, but at the end of the day, it didn't work for my hair. And also in terms of the rubber band method, in removing that, there were some parts that I wouldn't be able to see, and trying to remove the rubber band, bursting the rubber band, I would have torn my hair with it. I seen where KK saying that she did the rubber band method, but it tears out your hair as well. So that's what happens if you don't
yes.
have the right technique in removing it, or when you're adding it, you can cause
Mhm.
breakage, which is the opposite of what you're trying to achieve from using
Yes.
braids. So that was
Yes.
two other instances I can recall that I would have had issues with my hair, either breaking or turn my hairline out because of how tight the tension was in braiding.
Mhm. Yes, that's so true. Because what we find is that a lot of people who actually come to us, like they message us asking, I have bald edges. Can your oil work?
Yeah.
Will it grow back my edges? Here's the thing. You know me, I'm very honest. I am not gonna tell you that I'm gonna tell you yes, it will work. But here's the thing. You also have a responsibility to your hair. Yes. Because if you find that the tight hairstyles that you are wearing, if you're wearing a lot of tight hairstyles and you use the elixir and you're seeing some growth, and if you keep wearing these tight hairstyles over and over, then eventually you're going to end up with permanent damage. And then
Exactly.
sometimes the damage is it's so far gone that you're not, and you would probably have to go to a dermatologist or maybe a trichologist or somebody who, deals with the science of scalp for some laser treatment to get back your hairline or even those bald patches. So I think the technique definitely plays a role in how we retain that length and how our hair will grow. Because trust me, after I took down the braids and I relaxed my hair, when I cut my hair, I told my hairdresser to just cut everything. And it was up to about shoulder length, a little bit above shoulder length in May last year. And when I relaxed in August, I've never really paid much attention to my hair growth rate. I don't really pay much attention to my growth rate. I mostly pay attention to my hair care practices and my hair care techniques. I don't watch the length anymore. I just mostly pay attention. But when my hairdresser relaxed my hair and I saw how how much inches I had gained, it's like I never had a setback. I went right back to where I was, a little bit close to armpit length, which almost where I was, and I was shocked. And when I saw those results, I was in awe.
Mm-hmm.
So right there, I was sold on braids. Braids are only protective when you do it right, and you will see growth if you do it right, if you get it right from the start. Meaning if you've been taking care of your hair, because you can't just get up today and say never install braids tomorrow.
Damage hair, there are things you have to do before getting the braids done. So
I don't know. What do you do though how do you prepare when you're going to install your braids? How you prepare for it?
Okay, so for preparation in washing, I normally do a deep conditioner as well. And you know, I'm all for the natural, so I normally do a aloe vera blend with natural oils and do a deep conditioner prior to. I know for some hairdressers, they don't like when you moisturize your hair because they say, you know, it makes it slippery. But
Mm-hmm.
at least try to get some moisture in it the night before, the
Yes.
day before. So even on the day, it won't be that bad for them. And
Mm-hmm.
also moisturizing your scalp and sealing. And of course, very important because breakage, you know, in braids can happen for your ends. You need to seal your ends as well with the oil. So
Mm-hmm.
those are some of the things that I do in preparation.
Mm-hmm. And like, how do you take care of it though? Like when you're wearing box braids like you are now, how long have you had these braids in now?
So these are in now for 4 weeks. Funny enough, these are a perfect example for things you shouldn't be doing. So I've had it in for 4 weeks. In about week 2, I went to the beach, so I had to wash it. For me
Mm-hmm.
though, because of the type of hair that I have, I can't necessarily do a full wash of my hair when I'm doing braids because my hair fuzzes very easily. So I either do a dry shampoo, or if it is I'm seeing I'm getting a dandruff buildup, if I'm not doing my moisture process properly, then I use apple cider vinegar to do a scalp cleanse, which will require you to wash, but at least you won't have to do a heavy washing as you do
Mm-hmm.
shampoo and conditioning. So dry shampoo basically, you would wet your rag or sponge or whatever it is you're using with the shampoo mixture, and you just wipe through your scalp. Then you use water solution, wipe through away the shampoo. That's a dry shampoo method. The apple cider vinegar, you can mix that with a shampoo and spray it in your hair, in your roots, and then you'd rinse that out. So you won't be necessarily doing a lot of washing of the ends of your hair. So less likely for
Mm-hmm.
it to freeze.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I try to moisturize and oil my scalp as often as possible because you know
Well, you
the
used to
braid will
moisturize
make your
it.
hair get dry, so you need to be moisturizing to keep it moist under the braid as well.
Mm-hmm. What do you typically use to moisturize it? I don't know if you had mentioned that, like on a
Okay.
daily basis.
On a daily basis, I have so I don't have a set moisturizer. I have a curling gel kind of thing, an activator that I use in my scalp, and I rotate moisturizers. I don't have a set moisturizer, but I use set oils. I use olive oil, castor oil, and such as sealants.
Mm-hmm.
But I do rotate my moisturizers for my scalp. So it depends on what your hair likes. You know, some moisturizers actually don't do anything for your hair for some persons, while for others it actually will do something.
Yeah. Yes, and I'm glad you touched on that because what works for Mary, what works for Mara might not work for Tis, and what works for me might not work for Mara. And it all boils down to what your hair likes. And I
What
always say
your hair
it's
likes?
your hair's porosity and your hair density. All of those factors play a role in the products that you will select when you're caring for the braids. So I like a lot of light moisturizers, like
Yeah.
hair mists,
Yes.
like liquidy type stuff, because I follow the LCO method, liquid cream oil. And then on a daily basis, what I would do, well, I typically layer my products when I'm on a stretch.
Yeah.
So like for my scalp area, for the hair that's closer to my scalp, I'll use like aloe vera juice because I do have scalp eczema and I get a little flare up sometimes, especially when it's hot in the summer.
Yeah.
Those people with eczema will tell you when it gets hot, your body reacts to that heat. And for me, I used to have it in my hands as a child, and as I got older, I think I had a bad reaction to a conditioner that just wouldn't wash out of my hair. One weekend, I'm gonna say this. I don't know if it was the Olaplex, but me to jump on the Olaplex bandwagon in
And say that's it.
2019. And I usually have high porosity hair, which means that things absorb easily in my hair. And when I tell you, say, after I finish use the Olaplex, it's like it changed my hair's porosity. Nothing couldn't penetrate the hair after that. Well, number 3, the Olaplex number 3. Nothing couldn't penetrate the hair after that. I wash out the condition. If my sister is on the live, she can tell you the amount of hot water where she had to throw upon my hair to wash it out. And I weeks before the conditioner wash out. And I ended up with a very bad reaction on my scalp from it. And I have not recovered since. And that is how Nourished by Nature was formed. Because here I was going to the doctor every minute. Did we lose Mara? I hope not. Hold on, I think Mara is having a little challenge. We lost her. Let me see if we can get her back. Sorry about that. Let's see if we can get her back. Yes, we lost her. Let's see if we can get her back. All right. And remember, if you are on the live, you can share the live with your friends so that we can have more people learning and enjoying the conversation. Okay, you're back. Yes. Awesome. Yes. So where was I? What was I saying again?
You were telling me about the product that you were saying.
Yes. Yes. So I ended up with this bad reaction because that conditioner just wouldn't wash out of my hair. And that was how I ended up starting Nourished by Nature, because I found a combination of ingredients that just worked. Because the prescription that they gave me for my scalp, it was drying out my hair. And you know, it's a dry hair leads to breakage. And it's like, I'm just thinking, I'm doing all of this work to keep the hair on my head, but at the same time, my scalp is giving me issues, and the products that they're prescribing for me are drying out my hair. And I had to do a lot of research and, you know, to find like a combination of oils that I could use to massage my scalp to kind of soothe the flare-ups. And when I tell you, when I install the braids, you know, people always say when you get braids, I have a lot of itching and all of that. Smooth sailing for me because I had my magic potion, which is the Ultra Nourishing Elixir. So I'm going to just put it out there. If you have itchy scalp, it's the best thing for it. Mara, can you back me up with that one? I'm just like, I don't know, I have to put that in there because it works. I mean, if it works for me. And even my hairdresser, she's like, you know, I know a lot of people who this could benefit from. So let's put it on the shelf, girl. And she's like, yeah, it's done. It's done. Yeah. So that was how Nourished by Nature came about. And let me tell you, if you are doing a protective style, you're going to want to ensure that you take care of your scalp and the hair that's underneath it, because if you are not taking care of your hair, then it's not really going to be a protective style. It's going to cause a lot of damage. And when you're wearing the braids, you want to make sure that you use like light moisturizers, nothing too heavy, so you don't have to be washing it. If you want it to be neat. And you know, the knotless braids, because it's knotless, it's not as tight as the other ones, so it's going to get looser very quickly. So you're going to have to, you know, find some techniques. For me, I didn't wash mine. What I did, I soaked a cotton pad with aloe vera juice, and I used that to clean my scalp, just like the parts. So if I notice like any build up coming on, I did that. And then because I don't use heavy creams, my hair never really felt dirty or anything like that. So I kept it in for about 5 weeks. I feel like I could have gone more. Yeah, probably I could have gone up to about 8 weeks, but then I was on a schedule for my relaxer. And I just really wanted to get a relaxer. I just needed to get my hair done. And then I was about to take a trip, and I just never did want to go put in the braids because, you know, in case of anything and I had to take the braids out, I didn't want to have the problem of running up and down to find a new stylist and all that jazz. So yeah, when you're wearing a protective style, like even braids, Not because you're not seeing your own hair doesn't mean that
You shouldn't be taking
you
care
don't
of.
take care of it. Yes,
That's
that's
true.
very important. And if you're wearing a style that people say it's a protective style, but you don't have access to your hair, then it makes no sense. It's not really a protective style because it's really causing more damage to your hair. You have to always ensure that you have access to your hair so that you can
Yep,
take care of it underneath it all. Yes, I don't know if Mara has anything to add to that or if she has any
that's
experience.
that's true. I know for some styles they'll say that it's protective, but if you are struggling, especially if you need to moisturize and you can't get, I know there are some techniques for like crushes, that you can't access the back of your hair. And at the end of the day, that's not helping you because if you can't moisturize it, you can't get to it, then it's just going to be getting knotted and dry. And by the time you pull that out, it's just brittle and breaking. So you
Hmm.
have to ensure you're choosing styles that give you access for you.
Yes, that's true. That's true. And we're gonna recap for those who are just joining. So first thing you do, Mara, when you decide you're gonna install braids, what you do first? How do you prepare?
Deep condition, if you have leave-in treatments, you can do that as well. And you make sure that you moisturize. You know, your hairdresser don't like your hair being too moist when they're braiding. Try to moisturize the day before to allow that moisture to get in and ensure that your scalp is also moist and sealing your ends as well. So that's key on preparing for your braids.
Okay, and then maintenance, you say you use dry shampoo when when
Dry
it's looking a little
shampoo.
bit dry and dirty and you moisturize.
Dry
How
shampoo
often?
my scalp because of the type of hair I have. Once water catches it, as you can see now, because I went to the beach, my hair starts to fuzz, so it's starting to peep out.
Mm-hmm.
So I use dry shampoo, which is really shampooing, washing your scalp without wetting the entire braid. For persons who can wash, then you ensure you go ahead to do that.
Mm-hmm. And then now we're at the big bad takedown now, which is where I find a lot of people struggle with. So how do you take down your hair? Is there anything that you do to prepare your hair? Or what do you do during the process, during the takedown process?
Right. So I know one thing for sure persons are guilty of in terms of they want to cut down on time. So when they're removing the braids, they just cut. I try to look for where my hair is and try to cut a distance away from what I'm seeing. It's good as well while you're removing the braids to moisturize your hand in the event of any dryness. It doesn't break that easy. And
Yes.
after taking down, I do clarify to remove any product buildup might have happened from moisturizing while I had in the braids, deep condition to restore any moisture that I might have lost, even though you know you're trying to your best to keep it moist while you're wearing the braids, you still need to re-add moisture to your hair after removing it as best as possible. So and you just have to be gentle in removing the braids. I know some people sometimes when you're taking it down, you're in a rush, and the more you're fighting with the hair, you might be causing more damage to the hair. So be
Mm-hmm.
gentle in the process of removing the box braids.
Yes, that's very important. You have to be very gentle, and something I did that helped me as well to avoid losing too much hair. What I did, I just cut like somewhere close, down the bottom. I say Shelly. Shelly, are you trying to log in? Hold on 1 minute. Or maybe it was a mistake. Okay. All right. Yes. Sorry about that. Yes. So one of the things is that you can't detangle here when it's dry. And yes, you can't detangle your hair when it's dry. You have to ensure that your hair is well moisturized, as Mara said. And the takedown process, it's likely that your hair is you. Hold on a sec. Shelly, do you want to join the live? Is that what you're saying? Let me know if I should send you a request to join the live. Yes, so the takedown process for me, it took me about 6 hours, 4 to 6 hours. I took my time, yes, 4 to 6 hours, because what I did, I had to do it, I detangled it section by section.
Section.
Yeah, and what I did,
Yeah.
I cut the braid and then I pull it down, take my time, put a little oil on my hand and just pull it down. And
Yeah.
then I mist my hair with my leave-in conditioner to loosen the build-up, what that
Yeah.
was near the root. And I used my finger to pull it down, pull it down, pull it down until eventually it unraveled. And then I used my white tooth comb to detangle that section. And did I use a white tooth comb? Yes, I think I used a white tooth comb to
It's
detangle.
best to use a white tooth because especially if you're having build up at your roots, you don't want to be
Yes,
using a fine tooth comb to go through that.
yes. So, I did that section by section. And by doing that, I avoided having to mess with my hair because, the two textures and all of that. And then I didn't have this huge ball of hair to detangle all at once. So I would rather keep the hair, take my time and detangle for 6 hours than lose all the hair because that just defeats the purpose. Your money gone down the drain and your hair gone in the bin because it's broken off. So you want to avoid that. Ensure that when you're taking down your hair, you take down your hair when you have time to do it.
When you have the
Don't
time.
ever do your hair when you are in a rush. I had to learn that the hard way. Never, ever, ever do your hair in a rush because you're going to be impatient and chances are you're going to rip out your hair. You're going to lose a lot of hair if you do that. So the takedown process for me was long. I had to do it myself. I didn't have anybody to help me really take down the braids. I had to do it. And I didn't do it very big. I think it was medium-sized braids. So if you go on my personal page, you'll see it. Get Healthy Hair
Yeah.
JA. You'll see what it looks like. I have a photograph up of it. And I just did it section by section. And after 6 hours, 4 to 6 hours, it was all done. And I put my hair in a bun. And
Well,
then
that was a good process though, because
hmm?
at least you were getting the detangling aspect
And
of it in each
I'm sorry,
section.
I didn't hear that.
No, I'm saying that even though it took you that long, it's a good process because you were able to detangle each section as opposed to, some persons
Yes.
removing all the braids and then fighting with the entire head of hair
No
and
beauty.
you lose more hair that way.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I think that's a challenge that a lot of people have. When you wait until you pull out every single braid and then you have this big ball of hair to deal with, it's going to cost you. So wait
Yes.
until you have time because if you want to see growth, you have to do everything in your power to ensure that your technique, so you install the braids and it's not tight and it's installed properly, but when you're taking it down now, it's going to defeat the purpose if you don't do it properly. So you have to ensure that you take down the braids, take your time, detangle, spray each section with your moisturizer and just comb it, or if you have like a detangling brush, that works as well, but never detangle your hair when it's dry. Always, when you pull off the braid, always make sure that your hair is moisturized. Yes, because that will help the process, make it so much easier and less breakage for you so that you can see growth, which is the ultimate goal. All right. So, Mara, I don't know if you have anything else to add or if anybody has any questions for us. Oh, but one thing I should tell you, for those who are on the live, do you want to share a little bit of your experience with the oil while you had in your protective style?
Yes. So with my last braids, which would have been before this, I had jumbo braids. That's when I was using the Nourished by Nature Nourishing oil. And for me, as I said, I normally have itchy scalp and breakage. So I used it like I think every other day or every 3 days to oil my scalp. And at the end of the day, I had no itching, and I know for sure I had growth. And definitely it's one of those oils that are soothing because the smell was great. And of course, I definitely would recommend it for the usage with braid, especially as you said, for persons who have itchy scalp, because itching is one of my main problems with braids.
Yes.
Because you know that with the multiple parts, you have your scalp is more exposed,
Mm-hmm.
which can lead to more breakage from the exposure, dryness, especially if you're out and about. And even for me, because I wear a lot of high buns,
Mm-hmm.
when I wear braids as well, I get irritated in the top of my head as well. So I need to keep it moist. And it was a good sealant as well for my moisturizer to keep my hair moist during the time. Definitely was a good experience, and would recommend other persons getting the product as well.
Yes, I wish more people were on this live to hear this. But as usual, the video will be up on the channel. I think, Mara, you have plans for this as well for your
Yes, I'll be
platforms.
sharing it as well on my channel on YouTube as well.
Yes, so for those who joined late, they can see the conversation. They can, recap for those who missed it. But just a little recap. When when are you going to make larger containers? Oh my goodness. That's a
Ooh,
very good question.
yes, that is a good question.
Yeah, I am actually, I have, I did, just a little back, just to sidetrack from what I was saying. For those who are wondering, I don't have any set timeline for increasing the size for now, but it's definitely something that I'm thinking about. I have, though, we might be discontinuing this particular line. We might be discontinuing it, but there is something that I've been working on, which I think people might love even more because I don't know, there's something going on with this one. It's magic. This one that I'm using right now, this one that I'm testing out, it's magic in a bottle. This one, I mean, the Ultra Nourishing Scalp Elixir is magic, but this one that I'm using now, it looks like it could be a
So
new love potion for your hair.
why not keep both?
Well, because I don't want to get too much into the whole process, but it's expensive to produce. It's very expensive. And the economic situation right now, because we have to think about our customers, and I don't want to be increasing the costs, so I'm just trying to work out how I'm going to keep the quality, because that's something I'm not willing to compromise. I'm not willing to
Yeah.
water it down to suit my pocket. It has to be at a certain quality. Superior quality hair care is our theme. It's our tagline. And I want to make sure that any products that we put out, it's of a superior quality. It's not watered down just for us to make a quick buck. Because at the end of the day, we are offering our clients, we treat them like family. We treat people who purchase from us as family. And we would not steal or rob from our family, right? But it's becoming more expensive to produce, and that's just it. If I don't see a way to do it, or if the economic situation with the dollar, everybody seeing the exchange rate, and we have to import the raw materials. So it's becoming quite challenging unless I'm going to be quoting in US dollars. But then that's something I'm not willing to do, because how many Jamaicans are earning in US dollars? So it's a challenge, and it's something that I'm thinking about, and I might, for this new, if I launch this new product, it should be a bigger size. But our
Okay.
things are handmade. We don't have a big production line, so it's very labor intensive, and it takes time. And it's a lot. It's not as easy as it looks, and you need a lot of help to do it. So, but hopefully, if I'm launching a new thing, I might not discontinue the elixir, but what I might do is scale back on that production and just keep it limited, or maybe do it on a maybe customized orders for people who want it. So I will customize. So you'll tell me in advance because it takes a few weeks to infuse. So if you order it, I will do it on an order basis, or order just enough for people who I know are like returning customers. But I don't think I'm gonna continue doing it on a large scale like this unless the exchange rate situation improves. Because right now, a lot of small businesses are screaming, So I have to think about my customers and I have to think about their pockets. But that's just how I see it. I have to put myself in your shoes. How would I feel if I see my favorite store increasing their price every minute? So it's not a good look. But for now, we do have a few left in stock. And I have this new thing that if you follow the page, you'll see where I'm trying out this new. I did a reel, I think late last year, doing a new infusion, and you probably know what the main ingredient is gonna be. So it's gonna be a little. It's not gonna be as heavy as the elixir, but trust me, this one is nice. And when I tell you it smells nice, Mara, it smells wonderful. Like I'm in love. Sometimes I don't need to use it, but I go when I take a whiff. I'm just in love with the smell. So if I put that out, but everything is just so expensive now. I don't know. I don't know if there are any entrepreneurs here, but I'm speaking from my own experience. It's a challenge operating in this climate right now. And I am actually not in Jamaica right now. So that's even more of a challenge because I'm going to have to make it. I am not sure when I will be back in JA, but I'm going to have to, rethink things and just, it's something that I have to think about. But we might be doing it on just a small scale going forward, even smaller scale. So we're going to be doing even smaller batches if we do decide to continue. But for those who love the oil, let us know. And if you need to get yours in, get it in before it's finished. Because we do supply I have a partner in Mapen who I supply. So when she orders, she's going to make her order and then she sells for us. But yeah, and I'm thinking about it. I haven't made a decision as yet, but we might discontinue it and just run with this new one. And I'm thinking about a 4-ounce size for this one. How that sound?
Sounds good.
All right. So I don't know if anybody has any questions. Any other questions for us? Don't know who else is left. I'm checking the comments.
Okay, but you answered that.
No questions. So no one used the question thing. All right. So just to recap. So you can retain length with braids, but it's just how you go about installing it, how you go about taking care of it, and also how you go about taking it down. So as usual, this video will be posted, and Mara, feel free to reach out to her on her platforms. Mara, you want to tell them where they can find you on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube?
Yes, so for Instagram, there are 2 pages. There's Mara_Ophelia, which is one I'm using now, which is for my everyday post, lifestyle post. There is Naturally Told by Mara, which is my hair Instagram page. And then my YouTube channel is Naturally Told by Mara.
Okay.
For all things hair, travel, lifestyle.
Yes, and thank you so much. And for those who have not yet subscribed to her channel, don't come off the live as yet. But when this live ends, I need you guys to go over to her channel and hit that subscribe button, and also click on the post notification bell and select all, so that you will be notified whenever she uploads a video. I loved that last video that you did, giving the update on the St. Thomas Highway. Loved it, loved it, loved it. I'm so happy for that update, to see the development in Jamaica taking place.
Yes.
So
I
it's
can't
gonna
wait
be
to see when it gets to Portland, and when it does,
so
you'll
much
be seeing me
easier.
cruising my way to Portland.
Yes. And I think, Mara, I think this is not hair related, but I just think that people are just discovering the hidden gem, which is Portland.
Yes,
You remember,
we
it's
are.
always been the Leo Club thing. You remember? Everybody want to go
Yes.
Portland, and when the time we hear Portland, we skin catch a fire. So yes, that's gonna be so much easier getting into Portland. So for the people like me coming from Clarendon, no, one highway going straight. Yes, so in no time we're in Portland. So yes, so I think we've come to the end of episode 5 of the hair. What's we talking? The hair therapy chat room. Thank you guys for tuning in. As usual, the video will be posted after this. Feel free to share it, like, comment, tell us what your thoughts are. And I'm also trying to restart my live thing, but some of my guests have been busy, and people are not able to come on. So that's why I haven't been, really active. But for hair related content, you can find me at Get Healthy Hair JA. That is my personal hair blog where I post, hair related stuff, and, maybe lifestyle, personal updates, like a personal blog, but mostly hair, relaxed hair, which is my thing. And Mara is natural hair, because I like to keep things balanced, because we have different customers. So we want to make sure that everybody is touched. I might have somebody with locked hair coming on later on. So yeah, you never know who's going to pop on to the hair therapy chat room. So Mara, you want to take us out with your little Naturally Told by Mara tagline?
Of course. So guys, as we end this live, just continue to be your most authentic self and continue to stay naturally.
Yes. So good night, everybody, and thank you so much for tuning in. Good night.
Good night.